Right now, crews recover a second victim from yesterday's deadly semi-crash and a warning for drivers as another snowstorm approaches. And building strong communities, helping the city fight against crime through the Good Neighbor Project.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
The Sauk County dive team has found the second body of a woman involved in a semi-truck crash off I-90 in a Mirror Lake yesterday morning. Her body pulled from the frozen lake about 12:45 this afternoon after a nearly 4-hour search. Officials are also identifying the man they found yesterday as Timothy Green of Kentucky. The woman's name has not yet been released. And while we don't know the exact cause of this crash yet, we do know that this was at least the third on or near an icy bridge. 2 others happened earlier this year with the loss of a Lake Mills fire captain in a snowstorm. With more bad weather on the way, Amy Reed shows us why experts want you to be extra cautious while driving over bridges.
Drivers hitting the road today were blessed. A stretch of dry road seems to be a miracle lately, but soon our luck is sure to change.
Just this year with the increased snow, it seems like we're having a lot of snow this year.
Which is why Sergeant Jeremiah Johnson wants drivers to be ready, especially over the spots that seem to be causing the most trouble this year, bridges. He said with these, it's best to take it easy, slow down, don't use cruise control, and keep the wheels steady.
It's when you make those quick steering inputs or the braking that's what causes the issues.
Bridges tend to be icier than other parts of the road since they have cold air coming from both above and below, and that's even harder to deal with when you're carrying thousands of pounds. That's why Diesel Driving School said it's so important for drivers to be using common sense.
Things can be operated safely with good caution and good driving abilities and common sense.
His company trains the next generations of truck drivers, and he said they teach that it's not worth it for the company or the driver to be out in poor conditions.
We try to educate our students from the standpoint that they're in charge of their vehicle and they're in charge of decision making on the safety of that vehicle.
The same goes for everyone else, he says. Driving safely means driving in your comfort zone. So as this next round of weather makes its way in, keep their words in mind.
Just because the speed limit says one thing doesn't mean that that's what you should be driving. You're supposed to drive at a reduced speed in order to maintain control of your vehicle. So if that means less than the speed limit, then that's the expectation.
Amy Reed, News 3 Now.
Now, yesterday was a record breaker for single-day snow totals in Madison. We got a break today, but more snow is coming tomorrow night. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with our first alert forecast. Gary?
Eric, we had a break today. We'll have a break tomorrow, but then more snow will arrive later tomorrow night into Wednesday. Let's start out by taking a look at Doppler track. Things are very quiet right now. There's some lake effect snows downwind from Lake Michigan into northwestern Indiana. Otherwise, the upper Midwest pretty much free of snow. In fact, skies have generally cleared across Wisconsin. High temperatures today, generally we're in the mid to upper 20s. Here in Madison, we topped out at 26 degrees, a little bit below normal, but we're now at our low temperature of 8 degrees, and with those clear skies, those temperatures have really started to tumble. Elevation makes a big difference. Notice Lone Rock down in the Wisconsin River Valley, they dropped to 1 degree below zero already as the cold air tends to settle down there. But as we take a look at wind chills, there's not much of a wind chill, so that's good news there. Otherwise, look for sunny skies to start the morning, partly sunny skies for the day tomorrow, the high at 24, but snow will be arriving later tomorrow night. I'll tell you how much we can expect in a few minutes.
Okay, Gary, thank you. With all the snow we've gotten lately, those piles on the sides of the roads are creating visibility issues. The City Streets Division sends out trucks to dump piles of that snow at 2 dumping sites. Those sites are not available to the public. The city suggests shoveling snow to the center of your lawn, if at all possible, to prevent additional visibility concerns on your street. You can also go to the city's website and report a problem snow pile. New tonight, 1 person dead after an Amtrak collided with a car. This was in Brookfield this evening. Police said the 70-year-old driver of the car died in the crash. This happened near Brookfield and River Roads, which remain closed while crews investigate. They are not releasing the victim's name as they try to notify next of kin. Thousands of students at UW-Milwaukee had to be evacuated last night after a fire in the dorm rooms there. All students living at the Sandberg Residence Hall. It's about 3,000 students. They had to get out. Students said there was a strong smell of smoke in the building. That fire was extinguished quickly. No injuries were reported. Tomorrow is primary election day in Dane County. It's the first time that both English and Spanish ballots will be available. And here's a look at some of the key races. 4 city council seats up for grabs, along with 3 Madison school board seats, a Fitchburg city council seat, and a village president spot in Brooklyn. And arguably the biggest, the race for Madison mayor. There are 6 candidates in the primary running for mayor: Paul Soglin, Maurice Cheeks, Satya Rhodes Conway, Raj Shukla, Nick Hart, and write-in candidate Toriana Pettaway. Polls open at 7 in the morning. They'll close at 8 tomorrow night. Governor Evers announced his plan today to legalize medical marijuana and decriminalize possession of pot in small amounts. This would make both medical marijuana and CBD legal in Wisconsin. For medical marijuana, a doctor would need to recommend a patient. In addition to medical use, Governor Evers is proposing decriminalizing marijuana under 25 grams. He's calling this a small but critical piece to addressing racial inequities. Now, decriminalizing the drug is where Republicans strongly disagree. They say the proposal goes too far. Speaker Robin Vos sending in a statement that Evers' proposal, quote, goes too far, also makes it easier to get recreational marijuana and provides a pathway to full legalization, which I do not support, end quote. Well, we should learn soon if Milwaukee will host the 2020 Democratic National Convention. It's one of 3 finalists, but an NBC News report is raising some questions over whether Milwaukee can handle all the visitors. Visit Milwaukee says the city's metro area boasts 17,500 hotel rooms, and officials behind Milwaukee's convention bid says they meet the DNC's requirement, 15,000 rooms within a 20-minute drive of the convention center.
There's not going to be a lot of traffic time, even if you're 15 miles away from the venue. In some of these other cities, you could be 5-6 miles away from the venue, and it's going to take you double the amount of time to get to the venue.
The other finalists are Houston and Miami Beach. If chosen, officials behind Milwaukee's bid estimate it would draw 50,000 people and bring at least $200 million in economic impact. President Trump back at the White House tonight after spending the holiday weekend down in Florida. There were nationwide protests today in more than 100 communities against his declaration of a national emergency. Demonstrators are voicing their frustration that his declaration will divert billions in federal funds to help build a border wall. The White House says it will cover the cost with a pair of Defense Department funds totaling about $6 billion.
We should take action to disapprove of this excessive use of executive power.
To protect his national emergency declaration guaranteed.
The pushback includes political and legal challenges. California and attorneys general from 15 other states, including New York, filed suit tonight alleging the declaration is unconstitutional and unlawful. Democrats in Congress plan to proceed with a resolution of disapproval, which could pass the House and Republican-controlled Senate as well, but without a 2/3 majority, the president could veto such a resolution. Disgraced film producer Harvey Weinstein will have to wait longer for his day in court. The start date of his criminal trial has been postponed. Slated to start in May, it's now been pushed back to June. He faces 5 felony charges, including predatory sexual assaults, first-degree rape, third-degree rape, and he has pleaded not guilty to all of those charges. Madison police are trying to get to more good neighbors in our city. They held an event tonight for their Good Neighbor Project. Keely Arthur joins us with the details. Keely?
Tonight at High Point Church in Madison, residents were invited to learn about the Good Neighbor Project. It's similar to a traditional neighborhood watch group, but goes beyond crime, where neighbors build a better sense of community while keeping one another safe.
Joseph Keys has always lent a hand to his University Hills farm neighborhood.
I cook for a neighborhood picnic.
But it wasn't until a traumatic event just doors down that he decided to jump feet first into keeping his community safe.
A 90-year-old woman in our neighborhood was robbed at 5:45 in the morning. 2 fellows went into her house. She couldn't hear. They put a gun to her head.
He now serves as his neighborhood's community safety coordinator and is an active member of the Good Neighbor Project, a Madison Police Department initiative meant to go a step further than a neighborhood watch program. It's a network of neighbors in any particular neighborhood who discuss safety and other issues in person or through social media.
When folks start to get the word out that, hey, Joe's house down the street here had the screen mesh cut on his 3-season porch and people tried to gain entry and there were footprints, That gets networked, telephoned, emailed, and shared to so many different people so much faster when there's a foundation in which that network can begin the telephone calls.
The project has been especially helpful as car thefts reached all-time highs in Madison. Some members started what is called Garage Buddies, where if you see your neighbor's garage door open, you shoot them a quick text.
You know they get through because the garage door is down the next morning.
Keys invites everyone to be a good neighbor because it's just another way to build a better bond in the place you call home.
Able to try and help in some way, shape, or form.
Now, anyone can start a Good Neighbor project. Police say it really can be as simple as exchanging phone numbers with your immediate neighbors and texting them or giving them a call when you see something is off. We have more details on how to start your own up on our website, channel3000.com.
Keely, thank you. And still ahead tonight, it's called the Internet of Things. Some say it's the next great industrial revolution, how it's defined and its impact on the state's education and jobs outlook. That's next on News 3 Now at 10. Welcome back. Another snowstorm on the horizon. Late tomorrow night into Wednesday morning could have an impact on your morning commute. Wednesday, Gary will have his full forecast in just a few minutes. So much of the world around us is connected to the internet, of course, our smartphones, our smart homes, appliances, and much more. Experts call that connection of physical things to the internet the IoT, the Internet of Things. And businesses are looking for ways to use it to be more efficient. And in addition to changing all of our lives, it also means high-paying, high-tech jobs. At this Sun Prairie business,
we've arrived at an age where we're enabled to be able to do this kind of stuff.
Engineers are working to find all kinds of innovative solutions for all sorts of businesses.
We see a lot of larger, very well-established companies, in that spot of, hey, we've heard of the Internet of Things. We feel like we need to do something in the Internet of Things, but we don't really understand how that's going to affect our business.
So what is the Internet of Things?
The Internet of Things is connecting products together to add benefit to the user. So you can check on your garage door, right? If it's up or down. You're augmenting products with software in order to add value to the end user.
The Internet of Things is basically what happens when we've got sensors that are so small that we can hardly see them, and therefore they're cheap.
Engineering physics professor Dr. Hal Evenson taught Morgan Lowry at UW-Platteville, and he recently held a curriculum workshop, the goal to have industry tell system colleges exactly what they need from the students of the future.
To bring in people from industry and find out what kinds of things are they trying to do now. And what kinds of things are, and by extension, what kinds of things do they wish that the new engineers had? The response from industry was just overwhelming. That, yes, I want to be part of this. Count us in.
And I3 is already a part of it with breakthrough products like these sensors that help farmers get their products to market by streamlining the collection of information about their yields right to their smartphone or tablet.
It allows you to track that grain when it comes off the field, where it came off the field. When it goes into the truck, make sure your truck's not overweight.
Their work is found in healthcare with a device to help an orthopedic surgeon monitor a patient's rehab with fewer office visits.
So basically, they can do a checkup. They can check the range of motion. They can see how the knee replacement in this case is healing.
Every project presents new challenges every day to use the Internet of Things to make a client's business run more smoothly.
It's amazing what we see here at I3. It's, every new client that we talk to, we learn something new about a different way to implement this technology.
And that technology also means a strong job outlook.
We're looking for mechanical engineers, software engineers, project managers, electronics and firmware guys. So we're growing very quickly.
In fact, I3 has roughly doubled its number of employees since moving to that new Sun Prairie location in 2015. Now, another issue we haven't discussed when it comes to the Internet of Things is cybersecurity, of course, something that also means jobs and technology developments to keep our information safe. Just 2 months into the year, and it's already time for the biggest supermoon of the year. This is the closest the moon will be to Earth in 2019, visible tonight and tomorrow night. Official peak time around 10:55 a.m. And let's go to Gary because we're already talking about the next snow coming our way just as many people put away the shovels and snowblowers for just a moment.
Yeah, the moon looks beautiful tonight. You probably won't see it tomorrow night thanks to the clouds that will be moving in and the snow that'll be on the way. Let's start out by taking a look at alert days that we have in the forecast. We have one for late tomorrow night into Wednesday. That's for occasional snow that probably looking at about a 2 to 5 inch accumulation by Wednesday night. And then another storm system that could start out as a mixture of snow, sleet, freezing rain, and rain from late Saturday afternoon into Saturday night and then change over to snow on Sunday. The earlier that transition takes place, the heavier the snow amounts. The later it takes place, the higher the ice amounts could be. Right now, things very quiet across the upper Midwest. Most of even the lake effect snow is gone, but already winter storm watches have been issued from Iowa through Minnesota and into west central Wisconsin from tomorrow night into Wednesday for the potential for some moderate to heavy snow. Now, here in southern Wisconsin, we're probably looking at about a 2 to 5 inch range. The European computer model has come down a little bit on the amounts here. It shows the heaviest amounts up around 6 or 7 inches through southeastern Minnesota and the western parts of Wisconsin. But then that second storm system, this will be from late Saturday into Sunday. You can see the additional snow that falls there. It shows the heaviest snows up into north Minnesota and far northwestern Wisconsin. There could be some significant amounts of up to a foot to a foot and a half in some spots from that storm. Now, the U.S. GFS computer model showing very similar totals, maybe a little bit less to the south and west. Again, this is from tomorrow night into Wednesday. It's actually backed off even a little bit more on the snow totals here in southern Wisconsin. But then that second storm system, that will be basically from later on Saturday night into Sunday. And you can see the heavier snow closer to us, and pretty heavy even as far south as La Crosse, but still keeping Madison on the moderate side as the snow accumulations. But there could be some problems with ice as well. The GFS computer model shows around 1/10 of an inch of ice over parts of southern Wisconsin. But look what the European model has, up to a 1/2 inch of freezing rain, maybe even close to an inch north and west of Green Bay. That is ice storm thunderstorm conditions should this occur. Again, this will be Saturday night into Sunday before that changes over to snow. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam downtown Madison. Clear skies tonight. No snow out there other than what's on the ground. The almanac for today shows a high of 26. The low temperature of 8 is the current temperature. We're at 8 degrees right now. Skies are clear. The air is calm, so no wind chill to speak of. The parade of weather systems continues off the Pacific Ocean. This is the storm we're watching for the weekend. This storm here, just to our west across Colorado, that's the storm that'll be moving in from tomorrow night into Wednesday. So they're just kind of lined up one right after another, following along that jet stream. High pressure keeping us quiet for right now, but it's also keeping us cold. Temperatures mainly in the single digits and teens above and below zero. Not much of a wind chill, though, because the winds are relatively light. But the clouds will be coming in tomorrow night, and then we'll see the snow develop by late tomorrow night into Wednesday before it gradually winds down Wednesday night. Our forecast overnight calls for clear sky or partly cloudy skies, low temperature dropping to 2 degrees above zero with light winds. For tomorrow, look for a high temperature of 24 with partly sunny skies. So again, a pretty quiet day overall. On future track, look for temperatures to drop to just above zero here in Madison, but below zero to our north and west. High temperatures in the mid-20s for tomorrow. Then tomorrow night, the clouds come in, the snow arrives by early on Wednesday morning, and it snows pretty much for the day through the day on Wednesday before it winds down late in the day. Snowfall amounts probably in the 2 to 5 inch range. This could shift north or south a little bit depending on the exact path of the storm. After that, though, we watch the storm for the weekend, some mixed precipitation to snow, another storm system for the middle part of next week. Just kind of lined up, one right after another, and we just can't break out of this pattern. So people who were asking a month ago, when's winter going to get here? They got more than they've bargained for, I think.
Yeah, some people love it, others have had enough. I think I'm in that had enough category.
I'm in that category as well.
Gary, thank you. Badger men's hoops tonight, hoping to keep a long winning streak going against the Fighting Illini. The highlights from the Kohl Center just ahead in sports.
The Badger men's basketball team hadn't played since last Tuesday, but they had to have a good feeling about playing Illinois tonight at the Kohl Center. The Badgers had beaten the Illini in their last 14 meetings. Wisconsin, though, had another lousy first half. They battled back, though, and when Khalil Iverson had the putback slam, the Badgers trailed by only one at halftime, 26-25. Second half, they couldn't shake Illinois, but they stayed in front. Iverson's block shot here starts the fast break. Brad Davison finishes, and Wisconsin is up 2. And then with Ethan Happ on the bench in the final minutes, the Badgers get the big play from Reavers, who gets another rebound basket. Final score, Wisconsin 64, Illinois 58.
The nice thing about having a team is that you rely on different members at different nights. And obviously tonight, Khalil Iverson, Brad, other guys that helped us, stepped up and supported Ethan when he was struggling a little.
Staying aggressive, you know, with 5 games left in the season, and every time you step on the court, you're playing for a championship. And there's got to be a sense of urgency. So, you know, when the game's online, you got to step up and try to make big-time plays. And a lot of us did that today. So I think that's something we need to continue to do moving forward.
Ethan Happ had only 6 points and 3 rebounds, but Khalil Iverson had 16 points and 8 rebounds. Brad Davison, 18 points. Brevin Pritzel, 10 rebounds. Next up for the Badgers, a Saturday night game in Evanston at Northwestern. By the way, the Badgers dropped 2 spots in the Associated Press men's basketball poll today to 22nd. Matt LaFleur's new Packers coaching staff is now in place, and today he talked about him in Green Bay. Luke Getsy is the quarterback's coach, Nathaniel Hackett the offensive coordinator. And with LaFleur as head coach, Aaron Rodgers is going to get plenty of guidance if he needs it. LaFleur says he'll be very active in overseeing and helping Rodgers.
I think it's great. We've got 3 quarterback guys that are going to be hitting them from all angles. But no, I'm gonna do my part. I know I need to be in that room, especially as much as I possibly can, because I am going to be the play caller. I think that relationship between the play caller and the quarterback is absolutely critical. So I will be in there as much as I can. I don't foresee ever missing a quarterback meeting.
The Packers have also announced the dates of their annual tailgate tour around Wisconsin. It won't come very close to here, though. The tailgate tour starts April 8th in Marshfield, goes to Sparta, New Richmond, Chippewa Falls, and Antigo. Our next Prep Mania game of the week is tomorrow night. Boys basketball in the Big 8. Sun Prairie visits Madison La Follette. John Boyle and I will bring you the game live on channel3000.com, 7:15 tomorrow night. And Steve Stricker will be introduced as the captain for the 2020 United States Ryder Cup team Wednesday. The announcement will be made in Milwaukee. The Ryder Cup will be played at Whistling Straits in 2020. Stricker has been a Ryder Cup assistant captain 3 times. The U.S. lost the Ryder Cup to Europe and Paris last fall. But Steve Stricker will be charged with getting it back as captain of the U.S. Ryder Cup team at Whistling Straits next year. And we'll be right back.
And Gary's back. Final check of the forecast.
A little cold out there tonight, having all that fresh snow on the ground and clear skies. We're already down to 8 in Madison, but 1 below 0 in Lone Rock, where that cold air just kind of settles down near the Wisconsin River. But if you didn't like this snow yesterday, you won't like this forecast for tomorrow night and Wednesday. Another 2 to 5 inches of snow here, heavier amounts out toward La Crosse, a little less down toward the Chicago area. And then another storm system later in the weekend, some freezing rain, sleet, and snow, changing to snow on Sunday with accumulating snow, maybe some more accumulation in the middle of next week.
All right, Gary, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us tonight for News 3 Now at 10. Have a great evening.